discuss as they wanted. Nick Robertson has spent the last several days trying to get the Gadhafi regime to account for its treatment of Iman, or even provide a consistent explanation of it. He joins us now, along with the New York Times' David Kirkpatrick, who profiled her story in today's New York Times. Nick, it seems like there is this official campaign against this woman that continues on state television and on the radio. Do officials, though, really have any idea what to do here?
They don't appear to. I mean, they just seem to be relentless in this smear campaign to degrade her, to debase her, to negate her message. It's all part of the government. In everything they do here, they have their own sort of set course narrative for something, and they won't deviate from it. And it seems to be a default position that they can't get out of. Yet they know that this is an issue that is causing huge consternation and anger around the rest of the world. Yet they leave it. It's an open sore for them.
David, do you think media attention here and reporters like yourself and Nick and others who've been asking questions about her and asking the regime, I mean, has that kept her, has that helped her, has that in fact saved her? Because as you write in the Times, a lot of women just kind of disappear into Libyan institutions.
Well, she said that she believes that the publicity around her case and the media attention has saved her. I know for myself, I felt pretty powerless when she was here at the hotel struggling to stay and find help, and I don't think any of us could do anything for her. And it sounds like after she left, she endured 72 hours of pretty grueling questioning. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is a victory for the media, but she certainly said with some justification, I think, that if there hadn't been this kind of attention around her case, she might have been sent to one of these homes that the Libyans refer to as rehabilitation facilities, where women who raise allegations of rape are detained without their consent, sometimes for years, until someone comes along to marry them.
So wait a minute, explain that. There are these rehabilitation facilities, so-called, where women who have made allegations against rape, they're sent. What happens to them there? They're held there?
They're confined there. They're held there against their will. They're not allowed to leave, and I think their lives are pretty bleak. The only way they can get out is if a male member of their family comes and takes them away, or some stranger shows up looking for a wife and marries one of them off. That's the most common way to leave one of these institutions, I'm told, because women usually end up there because their families shun them after they've raised allegations of a sexual crime.
Nick, she is saying that she continues to be harassed when she goes out on the street, that at checkpoints she's stopped. She says she was at the courts today trying to press her case, and that an employee there pulled a gun on her. Would the government, I mean, like to arrest her again? Because it seems like they've arrested her several times without any real result.
And she was describing as well yesterday to us that, you know, whenever she goes out, she gets either harassed or eventually pulled into a police car. And when they get her to the police station, they have no idea what to do with her because there are no charges outstanding against her. She's just in this sort of eternal limbo, this utterly painful, demoralizing situation that she can't break free from. Again, it just seems like the government is on this crash course to harass, intimidate, degrade her, but they have no other sort of position, because whenever they get her to a police station, they realize they have to release her because there are no charges. There's nothing to actually charge her with.
Nick, what do you think is going to happen to her?
I think it's not impossible to imagine that at some point the pen is going to drop here, if you will, with the government, and they're going to realize that the best thing they can do is actually let her go, let her leave the country, let her get back to her family, let her do what she's been trying to do. We know that she got to the border with Tunisia last week. She got right to the position of customs and passport checking, and then officials grabbed her and drove her all the way back, several hours. It must have been incredibly painful, demoralizing, and it just, again, for her, almost the end again, to be so close to freedom, to be taken back to Tripoli, where she can't even leave the city, get even to the suburbs now. Perhaps the penny is going to drop here with the regime, and it's going to be less painful for the regime and for her if they just let her go. Of course, we don't know if that's the case, but at some point one would imagine maybe they're going to realize that, Anderson.
And David, I understand you just encountered some fresh evidence of what happens to those who defy the regime.
I'm not. What do you have in mind?
I don't know. Somebody had just told me that you had something, that in tomorrow's paper, I think you were in Zawiya?
Yeah, that's right. Today, yes, you know, there's so much different evidence of that.
Okay, sorry, yeah, I should have been more specific.
Today we were on an official tour of the town of Zawiya, about 30 miles from here. And our photographer actually ventured into Moises Salmon ventured into a burned-out police building, and on the second floor in an office strewn around the floor, he found what appeared to be evidence of torture, photographs of torture victims, bodies with torture marks, a man naked and bound under a sheet, most chilling of all, a picture of a saw, and there were some burned-out records that were being cleared up and carted away. One of the workers cleaning the place up led him to a darkened room in the basement and made a gesture with his hands signaling a shooting gun and said Gadhafi, apparently trying to suggest that this was an execution chamber.
It'll be in tomorrow's New York Times, Wednesday's New York Times. David Kirkpatrick, Nick Robertson, stay safe. Thank you.